Aloha and welcome to this brief screencast where I want to talk to you about Meteor DevTools Evolved. This is a little plugin to Chrome that you can get. You just gotta, like go to the, go to the settings, extensions, and I guess you can search, find Meteor DevTools Evolved, and add it. And this provides a couple of super important, useful extensions to the DevTools menu for Meteor. And I want to show you quickly how that works and how it's going to help you understand how Meteor works, in addition to really helping you debug applications, which is, of course, the most important thing. So we've got our Meteor application template running here. And you can see here's the code for Meteor application template. I've got it actually started in my browser. And if we go and open up DevTools, okay, which should always be, you should always be running, with your DevTools window open during development, because it's going to give you useful information. After you've installed Meteor DevTools Evolved, what you get is this Meteor tab in the DevTools console, okay? And the DevTools, and this Meteor DevTools tab has 4 subtabs. DDP, don't need to worry about that, at least at this point in your learning. Bookmarks, don't need to worry about that, at least at this point in your learning. Mini Mongo, definitely want to know about that one from the beginning, and subscriptions, definitely want to know about that one from the beginning. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go through this application, and it's going to help you understand how both subscriptions work, and it'll help you debug if your subscriptions are not set up correctly, as well as show you the contents of Mini Mongo in your client and how that changes as you go from page to page. Now remember, the idea with Meteor is back on the server side, you've got your Mongo database, right? And in the client, we've got this local copy of some portion of that server-side Mongo database, and it's called and that's implemented in terms of this little thing called a Mini Mongo, okay? And as you're going to see, the contents of Mini Mongo changes as you traverse through your application, which is kind of a cool concept. So basically what happens when you visit a page, you say, what portion of the server-side database do I actually need right now in order to populate this page? And the way you specify that information is through subscriptions, okay, and publications. I'm not going to go into the gory details with that right now. Hopefully you've looked at the other screencasts, but let's see how Meteor DevTools Evolved helps you see what's happening as you go through your application. So here we are at the landing page. Let's look at the landing page definition. Okay, there's the definition of the landing page. Do we see any subscriptions? No. Do we need anything from Mini Mongo? No. Okay. And we can see here, if we look at Mini Mongo knows that there's a stuffs collection, but there's no elements in it. Okay, and it knows that because when the client starts up, it makes a copy of that stuff collection in the API directory, which calls the collection.create command. So it knows that this stuff collection exists, but it doesn't have any elements in it. We look at subscriptions. We've got some subscriptions that Meteor automatically starts up, and this one starts up because we do the landing roles initialization procedures, but we're not subscribing to any of the stuffs collection publications on this page. Okay, so let's sign in using our very stealthy unknown passwords. Okay, so now we're on the home page. Okay, so let's look at the page that we get to after we've logged in. Okay, and What page are we at here? Actually, I'm sorry. Okay, for this particular application, there's no home page. Once we log in, all we're going to do is update the nav bar, okay, with add stuff and list stuff. All right, thinking of more complicated applications. Okay, so obviously nothing's changed here, right? Oh, well, something has changed. We've logged in, so that means that our users collection now has some information about just the logged in user. We don't know about any other users in the system, just the particular logged in user. And that's how we get at, oh, we know what the person's email address is and so forth. But in terms of our stuffs collection, we still don't have anything in it. Okay, now let's go to list stuff. Okay, so finally, once we traverse to this page, you can see that list stuff actually does subscribe to a publication, the publication in the stuffs collection, and then that's used to actually populate Minimongo for that page, so that we can then iterate through and do stuff. Okay, so if we look at the stuffs collection, once we're on this page, we can see that there are 3 elements in there in Minimongo, and we're actually traversing through all those elements to display them. And if we go to the subscriptions, we can now see, oh, cool, we have an active subscription, which is ready, which means the data's been received, and that's the stuffs collection.publication.user publication. Okay, and then we have these other ones as well, which are kind of more internal. Let's go to add stuff. Once we go to add stuff, you can see stuffs collection goes back to 0, and that's because on the add stuff page, we don't have any subscriptions. Okay. If we then add some stuff, bar 34, excellent condition. Okay, success. Does anything change here? No, of course not, because nothing's changed. But if we now go to list stuff, we can see that element's been added, and stuffs collection now has 4 items in it. Okay. Let's try to edit bar. If we edit bar, now we've gone to the edit page, and what we can see is on the edit page, we still have subscribed to the stuffs collection. Okay, so we're still getting documents, and we could go ahead and update, and that will change. 34 is now good. So we see the condition has changed from good. Let's move it back to excellent. Okay, and then if you were watching down here, you could have seen that update from good to excellent. So Minimongo is changing to reflect the update to the Mongo database. We've still got 1 user. I guess the only other thing I can think of is to say we could log out now and log back in. So if we log out, obviously everything goes away. And if we sign in as the admin user, and then go to list stuff, we can see that we get the 2 elements in the list stuff page associated with our admin at foo.user. If we go to the admin page, now the stuff collection has been updated with all of the items, okay, and that's because we're on this page, we're subscribed to the publication called stuffscollection.publication.admin. Okay, so if we go to publications, okay, you can see we're going to have this stuffs.admin publication name, and you can find out where that is inside here. User publication name, publication.user, admin publication, stuffs.publication.admin. Okay, so we define those strings here, and then we define these 2 publications, which specify how we're going to, what portions of the database we're going to send to the client when they do a subscription. So in the case of the admin publication, we're going to send all of the elements in the stuffs collection. Okay. In the case of the regular users, okay, we're only going to send those portions of the collection associated with that user. Okay, so when we go back here on the list stuff page, we're using the user level, right? The user publication name. So that means we only get those elements that are owned by that user. And we can see here in stuffs collection, since we're admin at foo.com, we're getting those 2 items because those are the only 2 items in the database that are owned by this specific user. But the admin page is cooler in a way because on this page we do the admin publication, and as you recall, the admin publication returns the entire contents of the database, which means when we go here and click on admin, we're using that admin subscription, which means Mini Mongo is populated by all the elements. Okay, so hopefully that whirlwind tour shows you that using this Meteor DevTools Evolved gives you the ability to kind of see what's happening in the client in terms of client state as you go from page to page. And where things get good is when, like your page doesn't display any elements. You can use this really quickly to say, well, is it the case that, my subscription is wrong or not working, or Mini Mongo doesn't have the elements in it that I thought it should? Okay, so this will hopefully get you well on your way to debugging, in minutes rather than hours, and that's always a good thing. So see you soon.